Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good.
Welcome to Omaha Warrior. This is the game 4 of Bugeater GT. So I've had a chance to go home and get a good night's sleep and reset myself. And coming into this day, I'm just hoping to, I still have the hope to go 3-2. I can win these 2 games. Also, if I win 1 game, I beat my Adepticon record. I've spent a lot of time thinking about my list. In the meantime, it's like, I knew I would have difficulty with this list, but I'm just taking Orcs and Goblins, and actually Orcs, and just going smash mouth, and so I can't complain too much because I'm rolling tons of dice in these battles. I'm just with this list, and letting the opponent choose battles by the chat 4. I kind of set myself up for mismatches, and my poor deployment doesn't help. So I start the day with a little nice news. When I go check the matchups, I see that my name is on eligible for best painted, which is crazy because I've taken lists before, like with a Wyvern Rider and some of my nicer models, where I try to hope for a good paint score, and so this is a nice, pleasant surprise. Makes me kind of happy. Something about the traditional orc mobs, something, just pretty simple. Yeah, it's kind of nice. So my first matchup against Warriors of Chaos. This is a bad picture here, but it really just shows the Hellstriders on the far left. It's got the Skull Crushers on the far left, and then some better pictures here. Hellstriders, and he's got a unit of 4 Ogres with a champion, which is kind of cool. They're Ogres Nurgle. It's kind of a smart little tool to use there. Chariot, a big unit of the Slaanesh Warriors with the shield. So they've got a 3-up and a 5-up save, and they've got a lot of ranks there. So that's a tough unit to crack. Got to get through that. And then he's got his level 4 caster in there of Slaanesh, and then he also has a I think he's got a level 1 of maybe metal or something as well. But a lot of points sunk into that unit, and especially with the character in there. So got to deal with that. And he's got a BSB, of course, as well. And then on the far right, well, not far right, but he's got his Hell Cannon kind of in the center there, and then 3 units of dogs. So lots of chaff I have to deal with. Just kind of get my way through it. And in this game, the special rule is points of fortitude in that big square in the middle will score you. If you, at the end of each game turn, if you have more points of fortitude in the square, you gain 100 victory points, up to a maximum of 500 per person. So there's only 600 to give up. So my plan is to just push my banners into the center and make him deal with me. So I got my 60 big uns here, 6 across. I want to have a lot of set fast of those Skull Crushers come ramming into me, plus chariots and whatnot. Got my chariots on the far left side, kind of just try to help keep those Hellstriders away. Not a whole lot for them to go after this game, so I'm just kind of keeping them at bay so I don't get any tricks up their sleeve. Put my savages in the middle, basically just to get their fortitude point in that square. And then I got my black orcs on the right. Now the problem with running 2 units of trolls is that they have to be near the general without some kind of character attached to them. So I'm kind of limited where I can put my trolls, and I want to make sure I get all my fortitude in there. So I've got my trolls over on the right. And when I placed that 1 unit of trolls, he hadn't placed his Hellstriders yet, so I was just trying to protect the side of that chariot from some fast-moving Hellstriders. And that's my Goblin Shaman on his chariot there. In this game, I think I have the armor-piercing spell. I don't remember. Maybe it'll come to me as we go along. But so he gets first turn, and he moves his or actually this Vanguard. He vanguards his dogs all over the place, and even in this Hellstrider's Vanguard over on the left a little bit there. And I actually get first turn, which seems rare for me. I think I might have had the +1 even, and I do pretty much what I was planning to do, which is move everybody right up into that block. So I've got my 3 banners in there. I've got a BSB in there. So I've got lots of fortitude points in that block right away. And then I'm just gonna. That hill is kind of a pain with the placing of the guys there, the way it is. We've got dice propped underneath them and whatnot. I just kind of cant those big ones to the left a little, try to keep as much in the front arc as possible for the first turn. Now my plan is basically try to clear out this chaff on the right and wheel my way around. So he's moving his dogs up to start chaffing. I thought about charging with my savages towards that one Vanguard dog, but didn't really want them at the time to be going wild, getting ran off in all kinds of directions by the other dogs. In hindsight, I probably should have just let them unleash them and let them go and see where they ended up towards the end of the game. But so there's his moves with his chaff. Chaff at my trolls there. Got my black orcs. My savages could probably get through if they wanted to suicide into those warriors later, but so there's that. He's trying to throw the leadership debuff spells on my orcs. Not the -3. I think it's just the one where you can't use your BSB and use the lowest leadership. And he's trying to hit him with a help cannon, force a leadership 6 non-rerollable check on that unit, which would be bad. So I dispelled the spell, and then he ends up missing. I actually used my scroll, and then he ends up misfiring with the hell cannon, but it doesn't hurt itself or anything. Just can't fire for the turn. So I burned my scroll already, turn 1, just being overly cautious. I mean, I can't have that unit run off. So I just kind of cant a little bit. I clear off 2 units of chaff, get rid of the dogs. The trolls get rid of one. The black orcs get rid of the other one. Savages kind of reform. I throw up a spell on my big ones. It may be armor piercing. Throw that thing there. Put the token right in the middle of them, so I remember if he does charge me that I do have armor piercing. And then not a whole lot else to do. My chariots are playing a stay away from this game with the Hellstriders, trying to stay about 20-21 inches away, make him charge through the woods if he has to. Maybe get lucky with because he'll kill those. I mean, he's got devastating charge, and he'll kill them pretty easily if he gets a charge off on him. And likewise, I'll kill him if I get a charge with my impact hits. So a little stalemate over there, and then he comes in on the big uns, pretty heavy. He's got a chariot, he's got the 4 ogres, and then luckily the way he declared his charges, he declared the chariot, the ogres, and then the skull crushers. So it's only able to get 1 skull crusher into combat. And I mean, that's still a lot of attacks coming at me. He challenges me with his ogre champion, which is kind of cool. So I go ahead and accept it with my black orc boss. And so there's that. Now that piece of paper, we just moved that hill because it's a pain. So that's the edge of the hill, and we just took it off the board because everything was falling over. But yeah, so he challenges with this ogre champ, and I actually survive. He's hitting me on 4s, and he like whiffs with all 4 of his attacks, or maybe hit with 1, then roll a 1 to wound. Now he brings his spawn into the side of the trolls, just trying to hold them up for a little bit, and he's just trying to keep those trolls out of combat as long as possible, which I don't blame him. Trolls are stupid and slow, whatnot, but they can get into combat. They can usually do a pretty good amount of damage, and they're pretty resilient with the 4-up regen. So in the middle there, I take a pretty good pounding he gets some spell up, or maybe the Hell Cannon hits the savages, but I hold with my big guns, and that's good news. His dogs there are, chaffing up the savages so they can't get into the flank of the chariot. But I've got a unit of trolls on the right side of these big guns, the black orcs, and I right there you can see the avenue of a charge. I kind of think I see that, and I know my opponent, he's just chaffing the black orcs and the savages, and right there I've got a flank of those dogs with that unit of trolls, and then I can overrun into the side of that chariot. Then I'll roll that combat, and I should roll those guys up. I've got the ranks, I've got a BSB who's still alive, and I'll be throwing out a ton of damage on the chariot, and they'll just keep rolling into the ogres, and I should really whip up and clear those dogs out. So even if he comes in with his warriors into the side of my trolls, I'll be able to, my big ones should stay there, and I'll be able to get the flank of those warriors if he does that. So I'm really excited right here at this point. I'm trying to think 2 turns ahead, and I think I got it. Unless he just holds back with the warriors. So here's my troll charge. I make it. I didn't need much, but with my rolling, I was worried I would fail it. So the trolls come into the dogs, and they the way I've got it lined up is I can't he takes off casualties, and still going to be center to center if I don't kill every one of them, and they're going to flee and pursue them, and all I have to do is get to the side of that chariot. Then I'll roll that combat, and I should be able to have this game pretty well sewn up. Well, not sewn up, but a big advantage. His Hill Striders on the far left make it into that chariot. They made a roll of like a 10 or 11. So they make it into that chariot, but surprisingly it doesn't die. That was the turn before. And I don't remember why I did not countercharge with my chariot. Or maybe I did and I just rolled really badly and didn't make it into him, because the impact hits would have saved the other chariot. But, or maybe I don't remember. I think I just moved that chariot up to, I did. I moved that chariot to, I wasn't facing him to charge him. He was out of my charge arc. So instead of charging the Skull Crushers and giving him some free combat resolution, I moved that chariot so when he reforms to kill that chariot, he'll have to charge the other chariot. So, yeah, my trolls killed those dogs, chased them, beat them in combat, chased, and I rolled a 4 for my pursuit. Boo! So now, what I thought was genius is now setting me up for his warriors to basically free score those trolls, and I had lined my black orcs and my savages up in a completely even line, so he'll be into both of them. I should have probably moved the savages up just a little bit so he'd contact them, or the black orcs, one or the other. Probably the savages, and let the black orcs try to work on getting a flank on that unit. I've still got another unit of trolls on the far right. They were able to finally kill that spawn and reform so they can start coming towards the combat. But yeah, what turned into glory is now danger. So I've got these trolls. He does kill that other chariot. And there's those dogs running away. They pop through, the other side of that combat, and he's gonna kill that other chariot next turn. You can see my big uns are getting ground down. My Black Orc boss is still alive after 2 full combat rounds. I think I killed that champion, which is great. So I've got my Black Orc BSB still alive at this point. So here come the warriors into the free flank of the trolls who couldn't make that into that other combat. So that's going to be bloody and quick. The good news, what he does here is he goes in there and he starts to throw up a spell. And he doesn't throw a ton of dice at it, but he irresistible forces it. And he rolls Dimensional Cascade. So do you see that unit there now? And after? He killed 12 of his own guys. He made none of his 5-up ward saves, or whatever he has, 6-up maybe against that, because it's not a shield parry. But yeah, so that's good news for the next round of combat. And I don't remember if his wizard got sucked into the warp or not at this point. I think he may have got sucked into the warp. So that was huge. So I have some hope for the next round of combat with the assistance of him blowing himself up. And I don't remember even what spell he put up at this point. Oh, I do. It was a good spell. It was lowered the strength of my black orcs by, and he rolled D3 and he rolled a 3. So my black orcs are now base strength 1. Yeah, base strength 1. So with the chopper rule and great weapons, I'll be strength 4. So there's the spell up, -3 on the black orcs. So I mean, I don't. He lost 12 guys, and I think his wizard. But before he cast that spell, he put the spell up on the big uns too. That I don't remember what it did. It made him pretty combat ineffective though. And he got both his spells up, and so it's getting dicey. So he kills those trolls. My big uns are holding. They take some more losses, but they're holding and grinding. Killed the ogres. They're the softest target, and his skull crushers reformed to get more in. And here he comes into the savages and the big uns. So on my turn, I've still got a unit of trolls, and they need to make a pretty decent roll because they've been getting held up by the spawn, and they make the roll. So at this point, other than I'm -3 strength with my black orcs, I'm thinking, I got a pretty good shot here. I can get this unit. I've got their flank. He's got his BSB on the edge here, and so he has to accept challenges, but he's got a champion. So he accepts a challenge with his champion. And hey, I don't know how exactly that works with the model placing, because it'd be against my general. So technically, in looking at it now, he probably should have moved his BSB out of that spot and put his champion there. But then again, it probably wouldn't have mattered, because when I fight on always strikes first, then he could have filled back. I don't know, but. So I'm still pretty happy with this here, but what happens is his BSB goes off, and he's no super killer character. He has basically 3 attacks at strength, like strength 5 or something, and he's not flaming or nothing. I fail all my ward saves, so he drops a base of trolls with just him, and then on his 6 attacks, weapon skill 5, strength 4 with the other guys, he drops another base. So that was really unfortunate, because that's 6 points of combat resolution. Plus, I don't break his ranks on the right there, and he's able to, with my -1 or my -3 strength, especially, he's able to win that combat. My big uns, yeah, the spell was they had used their base leadership with no BSB reroll, and so their base leadership is 7, and I fail a leadership 7 steadfast check, so that's unfortunate. I flee and get away, but that was on my turn, so all I have to do is charge them off the board. My trolls freaking flee on the right. Everyone else is steadfast, so they hold, but that was brutal. Could have beat that unit. He rolled great. The -3 strength helped him a lot. I know since his BSB was in the corner there, I could only throw so many attacks against the unit with my black orcs. So I don't know if we did the model positioning correctly in the order, but I was happy with it at the time. It looked right. He rolled great, and I rolled poorly and was unable to bust that unit when I needed to. And I could have kept going on towards the other combat, and I failed a leadership. When you fail a leadership 7, the math was on my side that it'd be successful, but hey, that's what that spell's for. And so on his turn, he runs those guys out, charges his chariot, which was able to reform on his turn into the savages and do some impact hits. And so on the next round, the savages take a beating. They're no longer steadfast, and they're going to flee, and I believe get run down by the chariot. I got a couple more pictures here. That one ogre, actually I didn't kill him to the man, so he had fled, and since he's not below 25%, he's exactly 25%, he's able to rally. Yeah, my savages fled. My black orcs broke on his turn, so they were able to rally on my turn, but we're pretty much at end game here. I'm not unable to kill the ogres. I'm unable to kill the skull crushers. I did finish off that chariot with my savages before they broke and fled. His hell cannon misfires and kills itself. So, you know, I wasn't able to score all that much. And he ends up sitting in that box with more fortitude for the last 3 turns. So we both get 300 bonus points for that. Totaling all up, it's a 14-6 loss. I was doing really well. I had some shots, but didn't go my way right when I needed it. And so I ended up with a loss. I did score some points. So, you know, it was we threw a lot of dice. I was happy with that. Thanks.